All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Timothy Tyndale, the cruise man. This is Trippin with Tim podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Diego Velez from Royal Caribbean. Uh, let's give him a little intro music. All right.
What you got going for me? All right.
Oh, man. Well, we're going to have a good show today, man. No doubt about it. All right. Let me get to the Facebook here. See who's tuning in. This is Trippin with Tim podcast. Look here. See who's tuning in. This is Trippin with Tim podcast. Look here. All right. So Diego, man, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Tim. I'm doing great. I'm a little cold. I wish I was in the Caribbean, man. I need to be in the Caribbean right now.
Oh man, I feel you. I'm in New York City, man, and right now it's about 50 degrees. So, the tropics, I need it as well. I definitely need it as well, man. You know, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your career at Royal Caribbean.
All right. Well, so again, first of all, thank you for having me. I really appreciate you having me here, tripping with Tim live. So I'm not in Miami, which most people would probably think that I'd be down in Miami, being that it's Royal Caribbean. But I'm actually across the river from you. I'm in New Jersey, so it's just as cold over here.
Oh wow,
Yeah, so I've been with Royal Caribbean for now 6 years. It's been an incredible experience to be part of this amazing brand. It really is not so much just for the adventures and the ships and experiences that we offer our guests, but it really is a great company to work for, and I've been really proud to work for actually one of the top companies in the United States to work for as an employee. So it really makes you want to give it all every time that, whether we're talking to our travel partners like you, Tim, or we're on our ships attending to our guests.
oh wow, that's great, man. That's great. Well, let's deal with the biggest elephant in the room. I like to address that right away. Is the COVID-19. We just we're inching out of the pandemic right now. I have Roxanne Mills on Facebook. She just asked a question: do you need vaccinations and masks for Royal Caribbean?
Well, welcome, Roxanne, and thank you for your question. Well, first of all, let me tell you that we have weathered the storm. This has been a rocky storm for us. We have definitely ridden the waves that this hurricane and everything has brought that we can call a pandemic. But we are back, and we're very excited to be able to offer really a safe and healthy environment to our guests. We want to make sure that people that come onto our ships understand that we do have, we're just as safe, actually probably even safer than Main Street USA. We've been putting protocols in place to make sure that we can offer that kind of experience, and to give everybody who's on, basically, yes, if you are 12 years and older, it is required to have a vaccine. So you must be vaccinated, have at the very least the two that makes you a full vaccinated, or the one if it's a Johnson and Johnson, but fully vaccinated. Boosters, we aren't requiring the boosters right now, but at the very least you have to have the full vaccination. That that depends on which one you're getting. Anybody who is a baby, 6 months and above to 11 years old, it is not required to be vaccinated, but it is recommended to be vaccinated. Now, if I may, Tim, just to add on to that, because I'm sure it's going to be a question. The question then is next in terms of testing and protocols. So if you are 12 and older, remember, you have to be vaccinated. You do have to arrive to the terminal. Now, I'm talking right now more about U.S. sailings, meaning that you're leaving from a U.S. port. You do have to arrive to the terminal with a negative. It could be either PCR or antigen rapid test, taken within 2 days prior to arrival, or I'm sorry, to departure of the ship. For anybody who is 11 and younger, you have to also arrive with a test that is negative, again, PCR or antigen, but then you will have to retest at the terminal again. So that's
Okay.
very important to note that if you're unvaccinated, 11 and younger, right, you will have to do two tests, one prior to getting to the terminal and one getting at the terminal. If you're vaccinated, whether you're under 11 or you're over 12, like it's required, you only have to arrive with one test.
All right. All right. Well, that's very informative. Very informative right now. All right. Sancharica McDonald, did you say boosters are required?
They are not. We are not requiring the booster right now. Again, right now we just want to make sure that everybody's at least in the fully vaccinated status. Which, again, for Johnson and Johnson is just the only one shot, and then for Pfizer, Moderna, are the two shots to be considered fully vaccinated. Boosters by our company are not being required.
Okay, all right, all right. Well, we've addressed the elephant in the room. Let's get down to the meat and potatoes of what's going on, man. I mean, Royal Caribbean holds a great place in my heart.
Yes,
My
sir.
mom, God blessed her soul, she traveled on Royal Caribbean religiously. Right now, I'm in the process of actually, and you probably can help me too. I'm trying to find every cruise ship she was ever on Royal Caribbean, and I'm going to take my family on that same boat as well, as a tribute to my mom, man. So,
That's
Royal
excellent.
Caribbean, thank you, man. Royal Caribbean holds a great place in my heart. Now, you guys have been voted the best cruise line for 19 years in a row. Uh, Tell us what sets you guys aside and sets you guys at a higher playing level than other cruise lines. How can you do it?
Well, I think first and foremost, the most important thing that you have to think about Royal Caribbean when you look at our ships, it's the innovation. And I think it's also very important to point out, especially for your podcast listeners and for your clients, to understand that when they're buying a cruise vacation, it's the ship that they're buying, right? It's the ship experience. The added bonus or the added benefit is that they get to go somewhere, right? They get to go to these wonderful islands. But Royal Caribbean doesn't own these islands, right? We do actually own one of them, but but the actual point of the cruise vacation is for us to give our clients the best service on board, great meals, incredible entertainment, the activities that are known only to be on Royal Caribbean. There are so many firsts. We were the first ones to introduce rock climbing. I mean, think about it. The cruise experience used to be like you just go, get to enjoy, relax, and just take in some sun. But then we started getting a little more adventurous and bringing in rock climbing walls. Then we brought an ice skating rink. Then we brought in a surfing simulator. Then a skydiving simulator. Then we have mini golf. I mean, there's just so much to do on our ships that is what really sets it apart from the competition. And it almost has set the bar where the competition has had to start bringing on those type of activities to their ships in order to compete with us.
Wow, that's great to know. That's great to know. And also, you guys have a private island.
Yes.
It's called Coco Cay. Not a lot of people are aware of that, but tell us a little bit about the location of Coco Cay and what exactly is Coco Cay and what are some of the amenities and things that you can do on Coco Cay?
So that is the one island that we do own, by the way, when I mentioned before. And we also do own, we have a private area of Labadee, which is in Haiti. So there's two private destinations that we have for Perfect Day. But the actual island of Coco Cay in the Bahamas is owned by Royal Caribbean. And it really is, I mean, not just because I work for the company, Tim, but it's more because of the fact that I was able to visit it almost 6 years ago, actually right around this time when it was just a beautiful island, beautiful, pristine beaches, wonderful waters around, and it was just a great beach day. The transformation that we have done to Perfect Day Coco Cay is just incredible. And again, it goes to the innovation of the company that really makes you want to experience it. And what guests should kind of experience is the fact that this is an extension of the ship. So when they get to the island, it's part of their vacation where they get to just enjoy whether it's a great beach day, a great fun activity sports day, or there are amenities that they can purchase additionally. For instance, if you want to be really adventurous, you want to do zip lining across the island, yes, there's an additional cost to that. There's an incredible water park that we have put together. It really rivals some of the water parks across the nation. We actually have the tallest water slide in the United States and North America. It actually beats that of Volcano Bay in Universal Studios.
Wow.
You
That's
know,
about
so
450 feet high, right?
correct, yes. It's Pike, Daredevil's Pike Peak. I'm sorry, Daredevil's Peak, and it really is an incredible experience. Now, again, if you want to experience that, you can pay additional. If not, if you're not adventurous, it's okay. We also do have a very unique experience, which kind of gives you a nice bird's eye view of the entire island. It's called Up, Up, and Away. It's actually a helium balloon experience. It's a tethered experience. So it goes up 450 feet into the air as well to give you.
Wow.
Now, it is weather permitting. Now, as I'm sure you know, it could get pretty windy down in the Caribbean and the islands, especially in
Yes.
the Bahamas. So we do have, occasions we're not able to go up. But when you do get to go up, you do get some pretty incredible views of not just the man-made colors of the island, but really, God's colors. The colors of the water as they change throughout the different areas, that white sand. It's just pretty incredible. But when you get there, again, it's so great because one of the things I always say to him about Royal Caribbean is we're not for everybody. I'm okay saying that. We are not for everybody. However, when you get on our ships or when you get to our island, there is something for everybody. So whether
Right.
you're 5 years old or 105, you will enjoy activities and things to do on the ship. You will enjoy activities and dining and everything that's available on the island. And that's what really Royal Caribbean's about.
Wow, that's great. That's great to know. And you mentioned Haiti. Now, I have a lot of Haitian friends. There are a lot of Haitian travelers all around the world, and Haiti has been through its ups and downs over the last 20 years or so. You mentioned Labradee. I've done some research, as we like to do here on Trippin
Great.
with Tim, and your charitable donations at Royal Caribbean have eclipsed over $2 million for Haiti, and establishing that island there for your cruise travelers has also injected tons of money into the Haitian economy. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with Labradee, how that came about, and your relationship with Haiti.
Yeah, so Perfect Day, well, no, not Perfect Day, Coco K at the time when we first purchased Coco K, and then followed by Labadee were the two areas of island. Because again, Labadee is more of a peninsula off of Haiti. It's not an own island off of Haiti, so it's actually attached to the mainland Haiti, which is very important to note. But we've had a great partnership with the Haitian government. We've really tried to make sure that one of the important things about tourism, right, and the fact that we're able to go to these destinations is because of the collaboration that we can have with the different governments at hand. And the Haitian government has always been very welcoming to Royal Caribbean because we do bring many passengers throughout the year to be able to experience the private destination. We work with schools, so we bring a lot of donations. We built schools as well in Haiti because it's very important. That we're able to give these experiences because of the Haitian government. So we want to be able to give that opportunity to give back to them.
Wow, that's great to know. That's great to know, man. So, all of our Haitian travelers out there, man, um, give me a call. Let's get it going to Royal Caribbean. They are definitely helping out Haiti in the economy. So that's great to know, man, because
And,
Haiti has been through a lot.
Yes, and if I may, actually, next year, sailing out of here out of Bayonne, we actually do have one specific sailing that will visit both private destinations. We typically don't do that, from here in Bayonne. So we're very happy to be able to offer one actual departure where you'll be able to experience both of our private destinations for sure.
Wow, that's great, man. And hey, man, you kind of reading my mind here. You getting to Bayonne, and that's an area where I want to journey here on the podcast because we have a lot of listeners, a lot of viewers. I have a lot of Facebook and internet friends, real friends in real life who are from the New York City tri-state area, New York, Jersey, Connecticut. And a lot of times we want to travel to the tropics and we want to cruise, but we might not necessarily want to get on a flight and go to Miami or get on a flight and go to Texas. Um, and a lot of times the choices out of Bayonne and New York City have been kind of limited. So I know you guys are kind of up in the ante a little bit with Bayonne. Tell some of the viewers about what's going on at the Bayonne port with Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, no. What's been great about having the terminal in Bayonne is because number one, we own the terminal, so we built this
Oh
terminal
wow, I didn't
in
know that.
Bayonne. Yes. So what's great is that it's our own facility, and for many years we've had seasonal departures. Eventually, we actually moved into what's a year-round program when we brought in our Quantum class ships. We had the Quantum of the Seas and then Anthem of the Seas. These two ships were actually built for colder weather. So when you actually board the Anthem of the Seas, which is the ship that's currently here in Bayonne, actually right now she's down in Miami because she's on her way to Southampton. But during the winter months, it's a very enclosed ship. So even like the basketball courts indoor, we have indoor pools, we have retractable um, roof pools because by the time you leave, here in Bayonne, it's going to be chilly in the, October, November, December, January, February, March. So those first 2 days, as you get to your destination, you're going to have to be inside. So you want to be able to enjoy as much on the cruise vacation. We allow that to happen. And that has allowed us to have the year-long program. We've done so well with that now we've moved on to for our summer season, which summer season for us is typically May through October. That is the summer season, that we've been able now to add two ships here. And 2020 was actually supposed to be the first year that we had two ships during the summer season. Unfortunately, we know what happened then, but we're very excited that coming this Sunday, we're going to kick off the Oasis of the Seas, one of the largest cruise ships in the world, is going to have her full season. She did arrive here last September for a very shortened season, but this will be her first full season. And then we're also going to have the Adventure of the Sea. So we will have two ships here during the summertime that will be offering, anywhere from a 7-night Bahama experience to a 5-night Bermuda. In between that, we throw in some Canada, New England routes
Wow.
to be able to mix things up. But now the presence of Royal Caribbean is heavy here out of Bayonne, New Jersey.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great. To rewind a little bit, Miss Jackie McDonald, I wanted to know how long are you on the island? And I'm thinking she's talking about Coco Cay.
So on average, every port of call, I would say, is about an 8-hour call. That's usually the typical amount of time that we try to be at any port of call that we make. Mostly, like we arrive at 7 o'clock in the morning. We're there until about 3:30, 4:30, 5 o'clock. So it all depends. Of course, most people wouldn't think this, right? Because I think it's a huge ocean, vast, but there's actually port traffic, that we also have to deal with. And just like an airline, right? You think that, you're the only airplane in the air, but there's thousands of planes up there. So same thing. It's not just the cruise ships. We have the kind of cargo ships and the routes that they have to take. So it always all depends on that. Also, weather plays a lot into that. So you will get, on average, though, we like to shoot anywhere from a 7 to 8 hour range at any port of call.
Okay, all right. I have another question for you.
Yes.
Um, I've never been on a cruise, so what is the best advice for first timers?
Get on one. And book it with Tim. And book it with Tim, right?
That's right. It's called a cruise man.
That's right. Call Tim. So in the industry, there is a known recommendation, and it's that if you've never cruised, you want to start. You want to get your feet wet. Yes, pun intended. Slowly. Take anything from a 3 to maximum 4-night cruise. You don't really. We want you to fall in love with cruising, and hopefully it is with Royal Caribbean. But whatever cruise line you do decide that fits your needs better, make sure that you start with something that you can feel comfortable with, because it's going to give you a good combination of land and cruise. Typically, a 3-night cruise leaves on a Friday and is back on a Monday. So you leave Friday, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So you're cruising overnight. The next morning, right away, you're at a different port. You're, for instance, for us, you'd be in Nassau on a Saturday. Nassau, you get to enjoy, get off the ship. You could stay on the ship too if you wanted to enjoy what's going on there, or go visit, of course, the island of Nassau. Then you're back on the ship. Typically, like I said, 4:35. Now you're cruising again at night. Get to enjoy the entertainment, dining experiences of the ship, and then the next morning you're actually at Perfect Day Coco Cay. So again, you get off the ship, enjoy the island, and now you're cruising again on the night to come back. So that's a good way as an introduction to
Right.
cruising. I personally would not recommend starting out out of Bayonne, New Jersey, because typically the itineraries there are going to start. The shortest is a 5 night, and as Tim, I'm sure will tell you, the waters are a little rougher.
That's
they're
right.
not
Yeah.
they're not as calm here in the Atlantic, North Atlantic, as they are down in the South Atlantic Caribbean area. So I would always recommend anything that you could do out of Florida, 3, 4 nights, maybe maximum like a 4 night experience out of Galveston, because those waters out there tend to be very, very calm. It's a better experience for you for sure.
Oh, that's great advice. Great advice. I have David Allen. He wants to know: is it wise to bring cash on a cruise?
So the only place you really use cash, believe it or not, is in the casino, right? That's one place that you can use, even though you can also use your account for that. So other than that, you wouldn't really need any cash on the actual ship. On the islands, the only two places that you would need to use cash are, we do have two straw markets, right? So we have a straw market in Labadee where the Haitian people are able to sell their crafts, and they will have required to be used cash. And then the Bahamian people do have their straw market on Perfect Day, Coco Cay, where you would have to interact with them in cash. So those would be the only reasons. Of course, you do want to have cash just in general. This is just more of a general traveling tip that I always give, because you never know. Your credit card might not work. You get off at a port. You might have to deal with cash. Some vendors, and I'm talking about, if you go to Cozumel, if you go to St. Lucia, any of these ports, you would need. So again, not for the actual ship experience, because when you book your vacation, you will be required to add either a debit card or a credit card to be able to run your portfolio or your account. And everything that you charge on the ship is basically, it's called a CPAS card. Actually, I don't know if I have one here real quick. Let me see. I was going to try to show one. This would be a CPAS card. So this, hopefully you can see this.
Oh, yes, we can see that.
Yeah, so this is actually, there you go, actually from the Oasis of the Seas. And this one here, as you can see, I've actually been on several ships myself, Odyssey, and I don't know what this one is here, back to the
Hey,
Oasis
stop
of the Seas.
showing off, man. Stop showing off. God,
So,
no.
so there you go. This is your actual currency. So believe it or not, this card is your identification, is your key to your stateroom, is the way that you would pay for anything that you would need to pay for on the cruise ship, as well on the island. If you needed to pay for something on the island, you would pay for it. Now, if I can, real quick, Tim, we for those I've never cruised, for those that may have not cruised with Royal Caribbean in the past, we do not include a beverage package, right? We do not include alcohol in our programs or in our pricing. We allow the passenger to choose for themselves if that's something that they would like to purchase. So if you do purchase the beverage package, which will include the alcohol, when you get to the different private destinations, whatever you purchase on the ship extends to the island. So you don't have to pay extra on the island for those drinks, because you already are part of the drink package. So all you have to do is either give them your card, or even you could just give them your stateroom number sometimes, and they will just take your information and they charge you because you have the package. Or if you don't have the package, yes, you would have to give your card, or again, give your number, and then they just charge your account.
Oh, wow. Okay, and Miss Jackie McDonald, yes, I do offer the travel package with the air, the flight, the transportation from the ship to the airport. I will definitely be able to take care of that for you. I have Mr. Terry Grooms.
Actually, Tim, if I may add to that real quick,
Yeah.
I would always highly recommend to try to book everything together through Tim, just because it makes it easier. If you end up doing your own air, which we understand, there are people that do have their own mileage program, things like that. Just keep in mind that we give Tim a great service in terms of he can purchase air for you through Royal Caribbean. And God forbid, and listen, we all live here in the New York City area, right? I've had this happen, believe it or not, back to back February 14th, Valentine's Day. I've had groups be stuck because of flight issues. Luckily, both times those two groups had their air with Royal Caribbean. So what happens is that Royal Caribbean takes care of everything. We try to find you the next flight, get you to the next port, make sure that we get you to the ship. If you purchased your own air, Tim, of course, will try to help you, but reality, it's your responsibility because you do have the air on your own. So always, make sure that you work with Tim. Save those mileage programs for, trips that aren't going to be in combination with, like a cruise experience.
Wow. Okay. Terry Grooms, who is my fraternity brother, go mob. I've never been on a cruise before. Where would you recommend going for the first time?
So again, I would definitely sail. So our 3 and 4 night cruises are typically from Port Canaveral, so Orlando, which is about an hour away from Orlando, Port Canaveral, and then Miami. Although now we also do have Fort Lauderdale, 3 and 4 night cruises. So that's where you would start. And our typical 3 4 night cruises are going to hit Nassau and Perfect Day Coco Cay. You might get a combination of Perfect Day Coco Cay, maybe Key West, or Perfect Day Coco Cay Cozumel, because we try to keep it nice and close. But those are pretty good ports to always start off with, just to start getting your feet wet. The only other suggestion that I would ever give for if you really wanted to do a 7 night experience, excuse me, is something that would be leaving out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, because on those 7 night sailings, you have an opportunity to see 5 different ports. So you're really doing a good balance of land and sea. So that way you could get acclimated to everything. That would be really the only time I would recommend a 7 night. I mean, of course, we're more than welcome to always book whatever, because if your friends are going, you might want to go with them. But if you were going to go on your own, again, I would start with either 3 or 4 night Bahama run or like a 7 night Southern Caribbean experience.
Wow. And you know that 7 nighter out of San Juan, we actually did that for my cousin's wedding.
Yeah,
We flew out to San Juan. He got married, and then we sailed to a lot of different islands from there. So that is a great trip. I can attest to
yeah,
that.
it really is, because you really get a lot of great ports. First of all, you really get a great taste of the Caribbean islands, and you don't have that many sea days. So if you're not really used to being at sea, that's a great way to get a good combination of both.
Okay, all right. Now, you mentioned earlier the innovation of the ships,
Mhm.
uh, how Royal Caribbean is kind of setting you guys apart from everyone else with what you guys offer. Now, you guys have built the biggest and best ship in the world. It's called Wonder of the Seas. Tell the audience a little bit about Wonder of the Seas. Where can you get Wonder of the Seas? What port? And some of the amenities and things like that on board the ship.
Well, I first have to start, Tim, with the fact that everybody should learn that in cruising, most ships have what's called a class, right? So you have a different class of ships, right? So I always kind of put it this way: if you know the brand, the car brand BMW, you have the BMW series, right? And within that series, you have it's like the 500 series. So you have the 501, the 502. I'm not really that great with it, but I know that way.
We get it. We
but
get it.
but at least you know that every model number is different, but it's in the same. Well, that's the same with the Oasis class. We have the Oasis class of ships, which are the largest cruise ships in the world, period. And in that class, we have the original Oasis of the Seas, we have the Allure of the Seas, we
Okay.
have the Harmony of the Seas, we have the Symphony of the Seas, and brand new to Royal Caribbean that just came this March is Wonder of the Seas. She technically is the largest cruise ship in the world, period.
Wow.
We're talking about double occupancy. We're talking about 7,600 passengers with crew. It's about 9,000 people. So it's a city and a half. I mean, you could fit two of my towns in there on that ship, which is pretty incredible. And what really sets that class apart is the fact that one of my favorite venues on the entire ship is we actually have an actual central park. I mean, we're talking about we have more than 3,000 living plants. We have two horticulturists who live on the ship taking
Wow.
care of these plants, making sure that they're offering lushness and brightness of the green and the flowers. I mean, you'll see birds on the in the Central Park, and you think they're fake, but no, they just happen to catch a ride at some point and they got
Oh
stuck on
wow.
the ship. So they are real birds on there, and it's just such a serene experience to walk through. One of my favorite things to walk through Central Park at nighttime as you're walking to one of the specialty dining venues that we have in Central Park, and you're hearing Spanish guitar being played live. You almost feel like you're transcended into kind of a Europe experience with the Central Park experience. It's really fantastic. But then we also give you the nostalgic experience of going back to the boardwalk. So if you're, in the Jersey area, Atlantic City, Seaside Heights. If you're from Brooklyn in New York, you have oh my god, Tim, Coney Island. I skipped
Oh
my
yeah.
mind for a second. You
That's
have Coney Island, that boardwalk. That's what we have on our ship. The back of the ship is a whole boardwalk experience with restaurants, carousel rides, arcades. We have an amazing aqua theater where we have spectacular shows back there. Just those two venues alone, nobody can rival us on that experience. But then,
wow.
of course, you get to the indoor pools. You get to the flow rider experience. Flow rider is a simulation for surfing. So if you're not a good at surfing, if you've never tried it, best time to try it is on a ship, because at least you can kind of make sure you're falling on a pool. It's a pool basically, so
Right.
it's kind of cool. We have a zip line experience that goes across the ship. The dining experience, because it's a larger ship, we have more restaurants, both that are included in the pricing and some that are specialty dining. And now specialty dining, you pay that extra. So for instance, I'll give you an example. Like, you have your Outback experience, which might be included, which is our regular dining experience. So, food is phenomenal, steaks are great, but then you have that Ruth Chris experience where you do have to pay a little more, which is our Chops Steakhouse Grill, experience, and you pay for that. So you get so much to do. And, one of the things that I love about Royal Caribbean too is that we do a phenomenal job of crowd control, because most people, I'm sure, in Facebook probably are making noise like, wow, 6,000 people, 7,000 people. That's a lot of people. But the crowd control, because there's so many activities on the entire ship, from, as simple as bingo to, I mentioned, the putt-putt golf, or the zip lining, or the shows, or you're at the pool, or you're in your stateroom enjoying, there's just anywhere that you want to be, you experience your vacation how you want to.
Wow. 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 I mean, that's a lot for our audience to take in.
Yes.
This has been terrific. You're a great guest, and we have to do this again. We have to do this again. I'm actually planning. We're planning a cruise on April 10th through April 14th.
Okay.
So all of the guys that's listening, everyone online now, this is an announcement. We're going to do our first ever reggae explosion off of the Freedom of the Seas out of Miami on April 10th through April 14th of 2023. So we're taking deposits for that cruise now. It's only a $25 deposit, guys. We're offering balconies, huge balconies, ocean view rooms, as well as interior rooms. I'm doing that with Jennifer Riley, a lifetime friend of mine. So that's going to be pretty lit. And that is April 10th through the April 14th on Royal Caribbean. And we hope to see you there, Diego.
And oh man, I would love to join for sure. And if I may, actually, Freedom of the Seas is actually one of the last ships that was what we called amplified. So we've taken some of our earlier built ships, and because we're bringing on these amazing new ships, we also had to go back to our earlier built ships and bring them up to date in terms of the activities and the excitement that we have with the new ships. And Freedom was the last one before the pandemic, and we did an amazing job on the new pool deck. It's a more vibrant, bring the Caribbean colors to the
Wow.
actual pool deck. Lime and coconut. It's a great bar experience up top on the ship. But one of my favorite things for sure of the Freedom of the Seas, and especially if you are a sports enthusiast, it's called Playmakers Sports Bar and Grill. This is the best.
Playmakers.
Playmakers, yes, it is the best sports bar. I think the location of it, of really of any of our ships. I mean, I love what we've done on our other ships with Playmakers, but this one is like, it's like right perfect in between our casino and Boleros, which is our Latin dancing area, and right smack in the middle you have I think we have 59 screens in there where
Wow.
we now have the rights to MLB, to NFL, to NHL, to NBA, college sports. So no longer cricket, no longer tennis. I mean, we have that too, but
Right.
now we have the games that we really want to watch if you're a sports enthusiast. So
Wow.
whether you're a Yankee fan or a Mets fan, you could be watching them. Unfortunately, Brooklyn Nets, we're out of it, but maybe next year we'll be in there.
Wow.
But again, really
That's
fun
great,
experience.
man. That's great. So everyone, you heard them. Freedom of the Seas is lit right now. Playmaker Sports Bar. We on there April 10th through April 14th of 2023. So you guys have almost a year now to put down your deposits and get ready to have a big party on a reggae explosion with Cruise Man Travel and Jen's uh, ultimate travel company as well. So, Mr. Velez, we want to thank you so much for being a great guest on Trippin' with Tim podcast. You've been fantastic. And I'm sure all of our viewers are going to be hitting me up for some travel on Royal Caribbean. And I can't wait to offer the services, man. So thanks a lot
Awesome.
for
Tim,
actually coming on, man.
first of all, thank you again for inviting me and having me on. And if I may tell your viewers, your listeners, there it is so important to make sure that you contact Tim. Tim is all of our travel advisors are very knowledgeable of our product because of the partnerships that we have. We want you to make sure that you visit your travel partner like Tim because, Tim is very knowledgeable, but even if he doesn't have the answer, he has the support of Royal Caribbean to help him, like myself, to answer any questions, because we want to make sure that he continues to offer the excellent service and experiences to you, because we want him to be able to have the confidence of always being able to recommend Royal Caribbean to his clients. So please make sure to reach out to Tim.
Wow, that's good. Okay, okay, Diego, let me send you out with your walking music. And
Let me see what you got for me.
thanks again. Thanks again for participating in what we're doing here, man. We really appreciate you coming on. And Royal Caribbean, like I said, holds a special place in my heart. And hopefully we could get together on a comp. I want to get out there, and I'm going to do a live broadcast from a Royal Caribbean ship.
That sounds excellent.
All right, so here is your walk.
What we got? Come on.
Oh, I gotta wait for it to load up. Oh, it took you forever, man. But I gotta give you something good to walk out to. And again, man, thanks a lot for coming on. And we love to have you here, man. And thanks a lot, man. Here we go. Everybody from New York City know what that is now.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, Diego.
All right. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
Thank you very much, man.
Take care.